Hello everyone! So today is a very exciting video, or it's just that time of month again, I suppose. We're picking October TBR. Now I've made a new spin the wheel. It's all spooky vibes. That's what we're going for, is very spooky vibes this month because obviously it's Halloween. Without further ado, grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's get into the video. I actually do have a drink with me today. So now I'm also filming this super early, like it's still like the 24th of September or something. Anyway, I am actually going to screen record this for you this time just because I'm loving my spin the wheel. We're going to do that. So let's do the first one. Okay, a book about witches, or that has a witch. It just says witches. I do know, because obviously it's, like I said, it's the 24th of September. So I do have some on my TBR for September that I don't think, like, I'm not going to get through. So I don't think I have any other ones that involve witches. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm actually going to take one from my TBR for September and put it on the TBR this month, which is Soul of a Witch, which is the third book in the Souls trilogy by Harley Laroux. I'm not going to read you the back because I don't want to spoil anything or have the risk of spoiling anything. This is going to be book number 1. I also don't know what book bestie and I are going to be reading next month because he's almost done with Lights Out. So I actually think we might be done that beforehand. So I don't know what that's going to be, but maybe Lights Out, maybe something else. I don't know what our next pick's going to be, so I can't add that today. But first book is Soul of a Witch by Harley Laroux. I'm super excited to read this. I kind of just steered really far off the TBR this month. I couldn't help it. I ended up, like, I've got one book left of Boys of Tommen, which you guys will see a reading vlog of that very soon. So yeah, I steered off the TBR quite severely. All right, let's do another spin. And I'm hiding the slice as well so I don't get a repeat. Okay, a book with night in the title. I can't read Nightbane because that's the second book in the series. Okay, the only one I've got is this book. It's very old. I've had it for a very long time. It's called Night of the Wolf by Alice Brochardt. Brochardt, I think is how you say it. I'll read you the back. It says, a masterful weaving of adventure, history, and magic. The fearsome legions of Julius Caesar have crushed all resistance to Roman rule. The power of the Druids is broken. The Gaelic tribes are in retreat. Watching all this is Manuel? I don't know how to say that. A grey wolf who is also a man, but he is a stranger to his human half, his reason chained to instinct. The appearance of a young woman, the proud, beautiful Emona, triggers the main character transformation from wolf to man, and in her arms he learns for the first time what it means to love. But when Emona vanishes during a Roman massacre, Manuel begins to learn a very different lesson. Following Emona's trail, he himself is pursued by Dreas, a warrior woman sworn to kill him. But the two adversaries will prove to have much in common, and the hunt upon which they embark will lead them to the most powerful and dangerous man in the world. By turns lyrical, sensuous, and violent, this is a masterful weaving of adventure, history, and magic which delves deeper into the shapeshifter legend and brings an earlier, more savage time brilliantly to life. Sounds interesting. I don't know if I'll actually get to that because it doesn't sound super interesting. I'm not super keen on that, but I don't have anything else with night in the title. Well, we'll put this one on because it's the only one I have with night in the title, but I don't know how I feel about that. If I don't read that this month, it's gonna go bye-bye. Let's spin again. Spooky setting. I feel like I have a couple that would fit that. I have one that's like very much in my head for this, and it's actually a dark romance. So the one that I have in mind for this is Grimstone by Sophie Lark. I will read you the back. I thought I wanted to make her scream, but now I want to make her smile too. It doesn't matter what order. Remy Hayes is beginning to think she's cursed. Her fiancé cheated on her brother Jude is a major pain in her ass, and the mouldering mansion she inherited from her uncle might just be haunted. Flipping Blackleaf Manor already feels impossible even before Remy is blackmailed by Dane Covert, the dangerously hot doctor next door, and Grimstone's most eligible bachelor, if you can ignore the fact that everyone in town thinks he murdered his wife. Remy doesn't want to believe it, especially after Dane sews up a gash in her thigh and steals a kiss in payment, a kiss that makes it hard to walk for reasons that have nothing to do with an injured leg. But as the renovation takes a strange and violent turn, Remy must decide if Dane is the one haunting her nights or if he's trying to protect her from something much worse. So that sounds super interesting, and that's a very spooky setting. We're like talking like haunted house vibes. So book number 3 for October's TBR is Grimstone by Sophie Lark. Let's spin again. And I'm also not going to put as much on the TBR this month just because I am doing 4 units of uni. So reading's a bit hard. So I think we're going to do like maybe 6. So it's going to be a very quick video today because we've already got 3. So we're going to do 3 more. Oh, murder mystery. I have the perfect book for that. If you guys saw my bookish vlog that I posted, I think 2 weeks ago from today, I picked this up at Coomera Rotary Book Fair. This is Ritual by Mo Hader. This is the book that like has like little bits of mold in it, and I'm super sad about it, but this sounded like such an interesting book, and it is a murder mystery. So just after lunch on Tuesday in April, 9 feet underwater, police diver Flea Marley closes her gloved fingers around a human hand. The fact that there's no body attached is disturbing enough, yet more disturbing is the discovery a day later of the matching hand. Both have been recently amputated, and the indications are that the victim was still alive when they were removed. DI Jack Caffrey has been newly seconded to Major Crime Investigation Unit in Bristol. He and Flea soon established that the hands belong to a boy who has recently disappeared. Their search for him and for his abductor leads them into the darkest recesses of Bristol's underworld, where drug addiction is rife, where the street kids sell themselves for a hit, and where an ancient evil lurks, an evil that feeds off the blood and flesh of others. That one's not quite what I was thinking. However, I do know that this one is a murder mystery. So this is Want to Play, Hide and Seek and Kill by PJ Tracey. It says, Minneapolis, a brutally cold autumn, and a killer is at work. 2 bodies are found, 2 slayings that the police treat as unrelated. But game's creator, Grace McBride, knows different. The murders are exact copies of those in a game she's designing, one that already has hundreds of eager players. As the copycat killings mount up, Grace knows that she is both suspect and potential victim. And with the serial killer getting closer, she is drawn into a murderous game of cat and mouse. Want to play. We're going to put this one on the TBR. This one sounds so interesting, and these books are always so funny. Like some of the first prints that they used to do of these books, they always like, they're just so tiny. So, but yeah. So we're going to do this one. When was it? I think this was published in 2004. Yeah. So we're going to do this one for murder mystery. We're spinning again. Okay, it says Fae, so a book about Fae. We have a couple of options for this one. Okay, so we have, like I said, we have quite a few options for this one. Okay, so I've picked out 4. And to be honest, I probably know it's more going to come down to 2 because I don't think I really want to read this book. The more I think about it, the more I hate the first book in the series. So yeah, but it's What Did You Do? The Infatuated Fae Book 2 by Janine O'Reilly. The only reason why I want to read this is because of how much of a cliffhanger the first book ended on. So that's a really solid maybe. This is another one that's a maybe, is A Dance with the Fake Prince. I started reading this, I just struggled to kind of like get through it. It sounds super interesting. This is a series of standalones, and they're all like kind of reimaginings or retellings of like our favorite childhood stories. So I think this is like a Cinderella reimagining plus something else. I don't know what the other one is. So there's that one. And then we have The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. And I'm pretty sure this is like Fae. Let me Google it. This has a Fae queen, but it's not about Fae. So we're going to take that one out. And then the last one we have is obviously A Court of Silver Flames. We all know that this has got to do with Fae, and I would really love to just finish this series off, but I'm so intimidated by this book. I hate that it's got floppy, it's so stiff. I really hated reading the other 3 books because of how stiff they are, but I would really love to finish this off. So I'm going to say no to What Did You Do? And I'm just trying to decide between these 2. I'm just looking at the sizes of the other books that we've got down there. You know what? I'm going to put A Court of Silver Flames on there because I would really love to just finish like the series and be up to date with this series. So A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas is what we're going to put on for Faye. I'm not going to read you the back because obviously it's technically the fourth book, but everyone calls it the fifth book because the fourth book is actually a novella. So it's the last book in the series to date. So that's going to go on TBR for book number 5. Okay, let's spin again. Let me put my screen record on. All right, spinning again. I didn't hide that slice, so that's fine. Oh, okay, vampires. I have 2 on my, like, in my mind for this, but I'm actually thinking that that one is the one that I would rather. So I'm either thinking Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff, because that was gifted to me and recommended to me by Book Bestie, who you guys know, because I talk about him all the time. Or, oh, I could do that one too. We also have Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent. I have just finished like up to date with the Crowns of Nyaxia series, and I know that this is like a Crowns of Nyaxia novella. So I would be super interested to read this. Or we read Vampire Academy. I don't know which one. This one does sound super interesting. Oh, and the writing in it, okay, just purely because of how big the writing is in this and how much fantasy we have on the TBR, I'm going to go with Vampire Academy. So it says, only a true best friend can protect you from your immortal enemies. Lissa Dragmoor is a Maori princess, a mortal vampire with a rare gift of harnessing the earth's magic. Her best friend, Rose Hathaway, is a Damphia, a guardian whose blood is a powerful blend of vampire and human. Rose's life is dedicated to protecting Lisa from the dangerous Strigoi, the fiercest vampires who will stop at nothing to make Lisa one of them. After 2 years of freedom, Rose and Lissa are caught and dragged back to St. Vladimir's Academy, a school for vampire royalty and their guardian Spee. But inside the Iron Gates, life is even more fraught with danger, and the Strigoi are always close by. So I think we're going to go with that book because I am really excited to read this. I feel like I want to put like 2 more on the TBR. I feel like it's not enough. We're going to do two more, but even to be honest, I'm probably not going to stick to the TBR month next month. I'm such a mood reader, I just cannot help it. So yeah, anyway, let's spin again. We're just going to do 2 more. That's 8, that's plenty. Paranormal. Now I like only have 1 paranormal book on here. I actually don't think I have any paranormal books. So let's spin again. Oh, I wasn't screen recording. Okay, we're spinning again because I didn't screen record that. No, we got paranormal again. Okay, Gothic. That was the book that I've got Grimstone, which is the book that I was going to use for Gothic. So I'm just doing a bit of research on Goodreads. These are very old, like just like literary fiction, which I don't have. Okay, so it says that when you Google it, Gothic themes in books, it says Gothic themes in books include the presence of the supernatural, intense psychological stakes like fear, madness, and obsession, and haunting settings like decaying castles. Other key themes are isolation and seclusion, the corruption of innocence, injustices and curses, the duality of humanity, like doppelgangers, and the struggle between good and evil. Okay, so thinking of that, we have a few that maybe like we could do like just in the fantasy that like are gonna have that. And I always feel like Gothic kind of like fits like academy settings. I'm thinking maybe like something like that. Oh, do you know what? I've changed my mind on the Fae. I'll talk to you about it in a minute, but I've totally changed my mind on the Fae. I had it in a different spot. I'll talk to you about that in a second, but this is the book that I want for a Fae book. I don't know if this fits for that either. I mean, it does have like supernatural. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do this one because I feel like it's definitely got supernatural themes. It has like intense psychological states. It's got like obsession, fear in it. Maybe not haunting settings, but it's also like, to me, this makes sense, kind of. You know what, we're going to tweak it for it anyway. So this is The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. I will read you the back. The gods love to play with us mere mortals, and every 100 years we let them. I have never been favoured by the gods, far from it, thanks to Zeus. Living as a cursed office clerk for the Order of Thieves, I just keep my head down and hope the capricosus beings who rule from Olympus won't notice me. Not an easy feat, given San Francisco is Zeus's patron city, but I make do. I survive, until the night I tangle with a different god. The worst god, Hades. For the first time ever, the ruthless Mercurial king of the underworld has entered the crucible. The deadliest contest the gods hold to determine a new ruler to sit on the throne of Olympus. But instead of fighting their own battles, the gods name mortals to compete in their stead. So why in the underworld did Hades choose me, a sarcastic nobody with a curse on her shoulders, as his champion? And why does my heart trip up every time he says I'm his? I don't know if I'm a pawn, bait, or something else entirely to this dangerously tempting god. How can I when he has more secrets than stars in the sky? Because Hades is playing by his own rules and death will win at any cost. So I feel like that kind of fits. We can bend it a little bit to make it fit. The Fable book that I'm going to do, so I'm going to take out A Court of Silver Flames and I'm going to put in this book because the last book in this series comes out in October and I want to read that. So this is Broken Hearted by Leia Stone and Julie Hall. It's the Cursed Fate Book 3. I've had this literally on my shelf for ages and I really, really want to read it. So I'm not going to read you the back because it's the third book in the series and I don't want to ruin it for you. Yeah. I definitely can't read you the back of that. So this is going to be my Fae book. And what have we got? 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay, let's pick one more. Let's do one more spin. Okay, let's go. I wasn't doing it again. I wasn't screen recording. So we're going to do another. We're going to do another spin. Spooky season. I don't know what we can put in for spooky season. I think maybe this one because I read the back of this and it's a Persephone and Hades retelling and I love those and that's a spooky thing to me, like a spooky season. It just fits that theme for me. So I'll read you the back. It's A Touch of Darkness by Scarlet, Sinclair, Hades and Persephone. I'm not going to read the front because I feel like they're always spoilers, but I'll read you the back. It says, "Let me worship you," he said. His request felt sinful and devious and she reveled in it. She answered yes. Persephone is the goddess of spring in title only. Since she was a little girl, flowers have only shriveled at her touch. After moving to New Athens, she hoped to lead an unassuming life disguised as a mortal journalist. All of that changes when she sits down in a forbidden nightclub to play a hand of cards with a hypnotic and mistress stranger. Hades, god of the dead, has built a gambling empire in the mortal world, and his favorite bets are rumored to be impossible. But nothing has ever intrigued him as much as the goddess offering him a bargain he can't resist. After her encounter with Hades, Persephone finds herself in a contract with the god of the dead, and his terms are impossible. Persephone must create life in the underworld or lose her freedom forever. The bet does more than expose Persephone's failure as a goddess. However, as she struggles to sow the seeds of her freedom, love for the god of the dead grows, a love that is both captivating and forbidden. So that sounds really sweet and like spooky seasons, you know, we're talking about the underworld and all that sort of stuff. So that fits spooky season in my opinion. So that is that. Let's do a quick rapid fire. The stack is very high in front of me, but the first one we had was Witches and we picked Soul of a Witch by Harley Laroux. Super excited for that and to finish that series off. The next prompt we got was a book with night in the title. So we've got Night of the Wolf by Alice Brochardt. Not sure how I feel about this. We'll definitely attempt to read it at some stage. But if I don't read it this month, we're going to give it to a free library or something. And then we got Spooky Setting twice. So we got Spooky Setting, which was, we picked Grimstone by Sophie Lark. We've got Haunted House vibes. We've got the next door neighbor, like the grumpy next door neighbor. Sounds super interesting. Super excited for that one. The next one we got was Murder Mystery, and we picked Want to Play, Hide and Seek and Kill by PJ Tracey. This sounds super interesting. I'm actually really excited to read this, even though this book is quite thick with really tiny writing. Still excited to read it, so that's that one. Then the next one we got was Fae, and we did pick A Court of Silver Flames, but I changed my mind and picked Broken Hearted by Leia Stone and Julie Hall because the fourth and final book in this series comes out, I think, on the 9th of October. So I definitely want to read this before that date so I can finish that series off. I'm super excited for this. Then we got vampires was the next prompt we got. So we picked Vampire Academy by Richelle Mead. Again, quite excited to read this. This is also my uncle's book, who did pass away, unfortunately. And I've had them sitting on my shelf. I've been too scared to read them because I don't want to damage them, but I think it's time that we read it for spooky season. Then the next one we got was Gothic, and we kind of tweaked it a little bit just to make this one fit, but we picked The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. Super excited to read this. I love anything to do with gods and stuff like that. So very excited. I've had this on the TBR for ages. I also love the cover of this. I think it's so pretty, but yeah, so super excited for that book. And then the last one we got again was another spooky setting, and I picked A Touch of Darkness by Scarlet Sinclair, which again is another Hades and Persephone retelling, and I'm super excited for that because I love Hades and Persephone's story. I think it's just super beautiful, and this one seems to follow that more because it's a lot more fantasy than, say, like Neon Gods by Katie Robert. Even though I still love that, this is very exciting. Okay, everyone, so that is the end of today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Make sure you keep an eye out for my September reading wrap up. I read some bangers this month. I also read some not good books this month, but yeah, I'm super excited to tell you guys like what I've read. You'll see that probably next week. After watching this, I will be filming it. I'll probably film it next week. This video will be up on Monday. So yeah, you'll see it in like 2 weeks from now, but like a week for you guys because movie magic. But yeah, that's it from me today. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, tell me what you plan to read this spooky season, and tell me how you went with your TBR for September. And yeah, that's it from me today. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Mwah.